200 boxers filled every corner, beginners, amateurs, future champions, all moving in rhythm. Gloves snapping against pads. Shoes scraping the floor. Sweat dripping like rain. The sound of effort echoed off the walls. In the center stood Muhammad Ali. Not shouting. Not showing off. Just moving. He floated between fighters, correcting footwork, tapping gloves, offering calm advice. His voice was soft, but everyone listened. When Ali spoke, the room leaned in. Speed, he said. Timing. Respect the craft. No cameras. No spotlight. Just a legend giving knowledge away. Then the gym doors opened. The noise dipped slightly as a tall figure walked in, confident stride, sharp jaw, championship belt slung casually over his shoulder. He didn't look around in awe. He looked around like he owned the place. An undefeated champion. Young. Powerful. Loud confidence without effort. He scanned the room, then locked eyes with Ali. A grin spread across his face. "Well, I'll be damned," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "They still let retirees teach." A few nervous laughs rippled through the crowd. Ali turned slowly. He smiled. The champion stepped closer, rolling his shoulders. "I knock men out in the first round," he continued. "And you're out here playing coach." The gym went quiet enough to hear breathing. Ali didn't raise his voice. Didn't defend his legacy. Didn't mention belts, titles, or history. He simply looked at the young man and said, "You came to learn, or to talk?" That only fueled the ego. "Give me a moment with you," the champion said. "Just a moment. Let these kids see what real power looks like." 200 boxers froze. No one dared speak. Ali studied him, the stance, the tension, the hunger. Then he nodded once. "All right," Ali said calmly. "But remember this." The gym leaned in. Power fades. Skill stays. Someone rang the bell. And 12 seconds later, the gym that once roared with noise would fall into the deepest silence any of them had ever heard. This wasn't supposed to be a spectacle. Muhammad Ali had opened the gym that morning for one reason only, to teach. No cameras. No press. No ego. Just 200 hungry fighters who showed up before sunrise, chasing a dream that demanded everything from them. Ali walked the floor like a professor in a classroom. He corrected footwork with a tap of the shoe. Adjusted guards with a gentle nudge. Paused sparring rounds just to say a sentence that felt simple, but carried weight. Don't rush your punches. Control the space. Your mind gets tired before your body does. The boxers listened like their futures depended on it, because they did. Then there was him. The young champion didn't warm up. Didn't stretch. Didn't glove up. He leaned against the ropes, arms crossed, watching Ali like a critic at a show. His championship belt glinted under the lights, not worn with pride, but used as decoration. Every time Ali spoke, the champion smirked. When Ali demonstrated footwork, the champion shook his head. "Too slow," he muttered. The disrespect grew louder. Finally, Ali paused the session. He felt it, the tension in the air, the shift in energy. 200 boxers stopped moving, waiting. The champion stepped forward. "With all due respect," he said, though none followed, "this isn't how fights are won anymore." Ali raised an eyebrow. The young man continued. "Speed is nice. Movement is cute. But power ends fights." He pounded his fist into his palm. "People don't pay to watch dancing. They pay to see knockouts." A few boxers glanced at Ali, unsure how he'd respond. Ali remained calm. "Power without control is chaos," he replied. "And chaos always loses to patience. That should have ended it. But ego doesn't listen." The champion laughed. "Then show them," he said. "Show them how patience beats power." Silence swallowed the gym. Ali looked around, not at the champion, but at the students. "These men came here to learn," Ali said. "Not to watch pride collide." The champion stepped closer. "One round," he said. "No excuses. No stories." Ali exhaled slowly. He wasn't angry. He wasn't offended. He was measuring. Backhand index pointing right. Before we go further, subscribe if you believe real legends don't need to shout. Backhand index pointing right. Comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Respect to every fighter grinding silently. Ali finally nodded. All right, he said. But understand this. The room leaned in. I'm not here to prove who I was. He took off his jacket. I'm here to show you what still works. 200 boxers formed a circle. No trash talk. No hype. Just anticipation. And somewhere in the gym, someone quietly rang the bell, setting the stage for the 12 seconds that would change everything. The circle tightened. 200 boxers stepped back instinctively, forming a wide ring around the center of the gym. No ropes. No judges. No cameras announcing a spectacle. Just breath, sweat, and the quiet awareness that something unforgettable was about to happen. The young champion bounced lightly on his toes. He looked relaxed, loose, confident. This wasn't a fight to him, it was a statement. He rolled his neck, shadowboxed for a moment, snapping punches through the air with sharp, cracking speed. Each movement was meant to intimidate, to send a message before the first punch was ever thrown. Ali stood still. Not frozen. Grounded. He didn't bounce. Didn't pose. Didn't shadowbox. He watched. The champion mistook that calm for hesitation. You sure about this? The young man asked, half smiling. No pressure, he added. I won't go hard. A few boxers winced. Ali stepped forward slowly, removing his watch and placing it on a nearby bench. His hands came up, relaxed, open, almost lazy. Go at your pace, Ali said. I'll go at mine. The bell echoed through the gym. The champion exploded forward instantly. No feeling out process. No respect. A wild overhand right tore through the space where Ali's head had been, but Ali wasn't there. He slipped left. The punch cut air. The champion followed with a left hook, fast and heavy, aiming to back Ali up. Ali slid back half a step, just enough. The punch grazed nothing. The crowd leaned in closer. The champion frowned slightly. He pressed harder. Punches came in clusters now. Hooks, crosses, body shots, thrown with full belief that one clean hit would end everything. The sound of gloves slicing air filled the gym. But Ali wasn't retreating. He was reading. Each step was measured. Each movement intentional. He wasn't avoiding punches. He was inviting mistakes. The champion swung again, this time rushing. That was the moment. Ali shifted his weight. Not fast, not flashy, just perfectly timed. His left foot slid. His shoulders turned. His eyes stayed locked. Pop. A clean jab snapped the champion's head back. The gym gasped. Before the champion could reset. Pop. Another jab. Sharper. Faster. His confidence flickered. He tried to answer back, swinging wide, angry now. Ali leaned just outside the arc of the punch. P.O.P. pop. 2 quick shots, one to the face, one to the body. The champion stumbled a half step. No one spoke. Ali's feet barely touched the floor. He wasn't rushing. He wasn't hunting. He was teaching, one movement at a time. The champion charged again, desperate to regain control. Ali waited. Then, with calm precision, he stepped inside. A short right hand landed clean. The sound echoed louder than the bell. The champion froze. His knees buckled. At 12 seconds, he dropped to one knee, gloves touching the floor. The gym went dead silent. No cheers. No laughter. No disbelief. Just shock. Ali stepped back immediately. He didn't celebrate. Didn't raise his hands. Didn't smirk. He looked down at the young champion, breathing hard, eyes wide, trying to understand what had just happened. Ali offered his hand. Get up, he said softly. The champion hesitated, then took it. As he stood, Ali leaned closer and spoke quietly, only loud enough for those nearest to hear. You came with power, Ali said. But you forgot patience. The champion nodded slowly, still catching his breath. Around them, 200 boxers stood frozen, not because they'd witnessed domination, but because they had just seen mastery. The bell's echo faded, and the lesson had only just begun. For a moment, no one moved. The sound of the bell had faded, but its echo seemed trapped in the air, like the gym itself was holding its breath. 200 boxers stood frozen in a wide circle, gloves hanging at their sides, eyes locked on the center of the floor. Some had mouths half open. Others blinked slowly, as if their minds were still catching up to what their eyes had just witnessed. 12 seconds. That's all it took. The young champion remained on one knee, chest rising and falling, staring at the floor as if the answers might be written there. His confidence hadn't shattered loudly, it had collapsed quietly, and that made it even more powerful. Ali stood a few steps away, hands resting calmly at his sides. No victory pose. No smile. No words. Just stillness. The silence stretched so long it became uncomfortable. One of the younger boxers shifted his feet, the squeak of rubber on the floor sounding too loud in the emptiness. Another swallowed hard. Someone in the back lowered their phone, realizing they had forgotten to breathe. Finally, the champion looked up. His eyes met Ali's, and in that look, something changed. This wasn't anger. This wasn't humiliation. It was understanding. Ali extended his hand again, steady and patient. The champion took it, slowly, as if afraid the moment might disappear. When he stood, the difference was visible immediately. His shoulders were no longer rolled forward in dominance. His chin wasn't lifted in pride. He looked smaller. Not weaker, wiser. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Not cheers. Not applause. Respect. Ali gestured toward the circle. "Everyone come closer," he said. The boxers hesitated, then stepped in. The space tightened, pulling everyone into the moment. Ali placed himself beside the champion, not above him. "This," Ali said, tapping the side of his head, "is where fights are won." He pointed to the champion's chest. "And this," he added, "is where fights are lost, when ego gets loud." The champion nodded, eyes down. Ali turned to the crowd. Who here thought power would end this in seconds? Hands went up, slowly at first, then more. Ali smiled faintly. And who saw the mistake before it happened? No hands. Ali let that settle. "That's why you train your eyes," he said. "Not just your fists." The champion finally spoke, his voice quieter than anyone expected. "I rushed," he admitted. Ali nodded. "You wanted the moment," Ali said. "But the moment comes when you're ready, not when you demand it." A wave of understanding passed through the room. You could see it in their faces, the realization that this wasn't just about boxing. It was about life. One boxer whispered to another, "He didn't even get hit hard." Another replied, "That's the scary part." Ali heard them. He smiled slightly. "Pain teaches fast," Ali said. "But control teaches forever." He turned to the champion. "You're strong," Ali said. "Strong enough to listen now." The champion met his gaze and nodded again, deeper this time. Somewhere in the back, a coach exhaled slowly, shaking his head in disbelief. A veteran boxer wiped sweat from his brow and muttered, "That was a lesson, not a fight." Ali clapped his hands once, sharp and sudden. "All right," he said. "Wrap up your gloves. The real training starts now." The room finally breathed again. The silence broke, not with noise, but with purpose. And every single person there knew they just witnessed something they would tell for the rest of their lives. The gym no longer felt the same. What had once been filled with noise, confidence, and bravado was now heavy with reflection. The kind of silence that doesn't feel empty, it feels full. Full of thought. Full of realization. The young champion stood beside Ali, no longer bouncing, no longer flexing his shoulders. His breathing had slowed, but his mind was racing. He had walked in believing power made him untouchable. Now he understood something far more dangerous had touched him first. Truth. Ali stepped forward, addressing the circle of boxers again. "Look around," he said calmly. "This moment will stay with you longer than any punch you throw today." The fighters looked at one another. Some nodded. Some stared at the floor. A few clenched their gloves tighter, as if holding on to the lesson before it slipped away. Ali turned back to the champion. "Tell me something," Ali asked gently. "When you rushed in, what were you thinking?" The champion hesitated. Then he spoke honestly. "I wanted to end it fast," he said. "I wanted them to see me." Ali smiled, not mocking, not proud. "That's the trap," he said. "When you fight for attention, you stop fighting for control." The champion swallowed. Around them, the boxers leaned in. Ali raised his voice just enough for everyone to hear. "Let me ask you all something," he said. "Who here believes strength alone is enough?" Some hands went up. Ali nodded. "Now tell me," he continued, "how many fights have you lost because you rushed, because you wanted it too badly?" Hands slowly lowered. No one needed to answer out loud. Ali let the silence do the work. Backhand index pointing right. "Now let me ask you watching this. Have you ever lost because of ego instead of lack of skill? Comment below. Be honest." Ali paced slowly, eyes scanning the room. "Speed without thought is wasted," he said. "Power without patience is reckless." He stopped and looked directly at the champion again. "You're talented," Ali said. "But talent doesn't make legends." He paused. "Discipline does." The champion nodded deeply. For the first time, his belt didn't feel heavy with pride. It felt heavy with responsibility. Ali gestured toward the students. "These fighters," Ali said, "they don't need to see me win." He looked at the champion. "They need to see you learn." The champion removed his belt slowly. Gasps rippled through the crowd. He didn't drop it. He didn't throw it down. He placed it carefully on the bench. "I came here to prove something," he said. "But I learned something instead." The gym absorbed the moment. Backhand index pointing right. "Question for you. Would you have the courage to admit that in front of everyone? Type yes or no in the comments." Ali nodded approvingly. "That," he said, pointing at the belt, "is strength." He turned back to the group. "Remember this," Ali said. "The loudest fighter in the room is usually the one hiding fear." He smiled softly. "And the quietest one? He's already won the fight in his head." Backhand index pointing right. Comment below. Do you think Ali won this moment with skill, experience, or mindset? Ali clapped his hands once. "All right," he said. "Gloves back on." The fighters moved with new energy now, focused, disciplined, quieter. The champion stepped back into the circle, no longer as a challenger, but as a student. And everyone watching, including you, knew this wasn't just about boxing anymore. This was about life. The energy in the gym had changed completely. What started as a normal training session had turned into something far greater, a moment of truth that stripped away ego and replaced it with understanding. The boxers moved again, but differently now. Their punches were sharper, their footwork more controlled, their eyes more aware. Ali walked among them slowly. He didn't correct with commands. He corrected with presence. A light tap on the elbow here. A quiet word there. The young champion watched closely, standing near the edge of the circle. His gloves were back on, but his stance had softened. No swagger. No unnecessary movement. Just attention. Ali noticed. He gestured for the champion to step forward. "Join them," Ali said. The champion hesitated, only for a second, then nodded and stepped into line with the others. No one laughed. No one whispered. They made space for him like he belonged. Ali paired him with a smaller fighter, someone faster, lighter. "Work defense," Ali instructed. "No power shots." The champion nodded again. They began slowly. The smaller fighter moved quickly, darting in and out. The champion resisted the urge to overpower him. He stayed patient, blocking, slipping, learning to wait. Ali watched from a distance. "Good," Ali said. "Now you're listening." Minutes passed. Sweat returned. Breath deepened. But something else was present now, respect. Ali gathered everyone again. "Look at him," Ali said, pointing to the champion. "He didn't lose today." The boxers looked confused. Ali continued. "He gained awareness," he said. "And that's harder than any belt." The champion lowered his head slightly. Ali turned to the group. "You will all face moments like this," he said. "Moments where pride challenges growth." He paused. "What you choose in those moments decides who you become." Ali walked toward the bench where the championship belt lay. He picked it up. The room fell quiet again. Ali held it for a moment, studying it, not with hunger, but with understanding. Then he handed it back to the champion. "Carry it differently," Ali said. "Let it remind you to stay sharp, not loud." The champion accepted it with both hands. "Yes, sir," he said quietly. Ali smiled. "Good," he replied. "Now earn it every day." The session continued for another hour. But it didn't feel like training. It felt like transformation. Boxers helped each other instead of competing for attention. Coaches observed in silence. Even the air felt calmer. As the session ended, the fighters gathered around Ali one last time. One of the younger boxers spoke up. "Sir," he asked, "how do you stay calm when someone disrespects you?" Ali didn't answer right away. He looked around the gym, at the faces, the sweat, the effort. "Because," Ali said finally, "anger wants to win fast." He tapped his chest. "But wisdom is willing to wait." The champion listened closely. As people began packing their bags, Ali placed his jacket back on. The gym doors opened. Sunlight spilled inside. Ali paused at the exit and turned back. "Remember," he said, "you don't prove greatness by beating someone down." He smiled softly. "You prove it by lifting someone up." Then he walked out. The gym remained silent, not in shock this time, but in respect. Long after Muhammad Ali walked out of the gym, the lesson stayed behind. The bags were packed. The gloves were off. The floor was quiet again. But no one rushed to leave. They stood in small groups, replaying the moment in their minds. Not the punches, not the speed, but the control. The restraint. The calm. Because what they had witnessed wasn't a fight. It was a reminder. A reminder that real strength doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It doesn't need to announce itself. The young champion sat on the bench, championship belt resting beside him. He stared at it differently now. It no longer represented dominance. It represented responsibility. Across the room, a young boxer whispered, "I thought power was everything." An older fighter replied quietly, "Power fades. Discipline stays." That was the truth Ali had left them with. Greatness isn't proven when everyone is cheering. It's revealed when ego is tested. Ali didn't humiliate the champion. He didn't embarrass him. He didn't take anything away. He gave him something far more valuable, awareness. And that's what legends do. They don't break people. They build them. Backhand index pointing right. Now let me ask you watching this. What did this moment teach you, about boxing or about life? Drop your answer in the comments. Your words might inspire someone else. Because the truth is, this story isn't really about Muhammad Ali. It's about all of us. About the moments when we feel challenged. When our pride wants to react. When our ego wants to prove something fast. And the question becomes, do we rush? Or do we rise? Backhand index pointing right. If you believe true power is calm and controlled, hit subscribe. This channel is for stories that build mindset, not noise. The greatest fighters aren't the ones who throw the hardest punches. They're the ones who master themselves. Ali showed that day that experience isn't just time, it's understanding. Skill isn't just speed, it's timing. And respect isn't demanded, it's earned. The gym never forgot those 12 seconds. Not because someone fell, but because everyone grew. Backhand index pointing right comment, ALI, if legends never fade. Backhand index pointing right comment, respect, if humility is the real strength. And finally, remember this. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You don't need to rush to be strong. And you don't need to win every moment to become great. Sometimes, the quietest presence in the room is the most dangerous one.